ranked world number 35, standing across the net from one of the sport's biggest stars. On the opposite side was world number 2 Elena Rybakina, a Grand Slam champion and one of the most dominant players on tour. Before that silent phone would become part of a story shared by millions, Eala first had to accomplish what very few people outside the Philippines believed was possible.
Oh, I can't believe it. I'm in shock right now. So, thank you, everybody.
Elena Rybakina entered the match as the overwhelming favorite, a two-time Grand Slam finalist and the 2022 Wimbledon champion. She immediately displayed her trademark power by firing 3 consecutive aces in her opening service game. Everything suggested the afternoon would unfold exactly as expected. Yet the phone waiting quietly inside Eala's bag would eventually symbolize far more than a missed call. It would become part of a breakthrough moment that resonated around the world. To understand why that victory carried such enormous significance, it is important to look back at the 25 days leading into Berlin. On May 26th at Roland Garros, Eala exited in the first round after a straight sets defeat to American teenager Iva Jovic, walking away from Paris with disappointment and another early major exit.
It was a good win. Alex is a great player, and I think she loves the grass, having won a title last week.
Just 11 days later, the story had already begun to change. Eala lifted the Birmingham WTA 125 trophy, claiming the second title of her professional career in a tournament that attracted little international attention but restored valuable confidence. From there, she traveled to Berlin on a wild card, entering an event she had never played before. She defeated Donna Vekic in the opening round, followed it with another impressive victory over Bardonkova, and suddenly found herself facing world number 2 Elena Rybakina. In only 25 days, Eala had gone from a first-round loss at Roland Garros to challenging one of the very best players in women's tennis. That transformation, not the phone call afterward, was the real story. Much of the attention focused on the upset itself, but the deeper narrative was about proving that Miami had not been a one-time miracle. Earlier in the season, Eala had already defeated a world number 2, yet many still wondered whether that performance represented her true level or simply an extraordinary week. The Roland Garros defeat to Iva Jovic, who was ranked outside the top 75 at the time, fueled those doubts. Berlin became more than another tournament. It became a test of whether Eala truly belonged among the elite, arriving with a wild card, fresh off a WTA 125 title. She successfully navigated the early rounds before earning another opportunity against one of the sport's biggest names, setting the stage for the performance that would silence many of the lingering questions. The challenge waiting for Alexandra Eala in Berlin was never just about climbing the rankings. It was about proving who she really was as a player. Grass was the surface she had the least professional experience on, yet it was here that she faced the biggest test of her season. After her first-round exit at Roland Garros on May 26th, there were few headlines, no emotional speeches, and no lengthy explanations. The scoreboard told the entire story: a straight sets defeat to Iva Jovic, followed by the quiet walk off the clay courts of Paris. Many players would have taken time off, searched for an easier opportunity, or waited for a more favorable tournament. Eala chose a different route. Instead of stepping back, she entered a WTA 125 event in Birmingham, embracing the chance to rebuild her confidence the hard way. That decision quickly paid off. On June 7th, after battling through a rain-delayed semifinal against Rebecca Mazarova, Eala captured the Lexus Birmingham Open title, earning the second WTA 125 trophy of her career outside the Philippines. The victory received little international attention, but for her team it represented something much more valuable than headlines. It was proof that her confidence was returning. Just 11 days before millions of Filipinos would celebrate her unforgettable moment in Berlin, she was quietly lifting a trophy at an event that many casual tennis fans barely noticed. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs begin far away from the brightest spotlight. Berlin offered no easy reward for that effort. Making her tournament debut, Eala was handed one of the toughest possible draws. She first defeated Donna Vekic, who would later reach the Queen's Club final during the same grass court season. She then overcame Nicola Bartonkova to earn a meeting with world #2 Elena Rybakina in the round of 16. For a player trying to rebuild confidence, it was the opposite of a favorable path. Yet instead of shrinking from the challenge, Eala continued moving forward one match at a time, refusing to let the draw define her chances. The opening set against Rybakina unfolded exactly as many expected. The former Wimbledon champion blasted 3 consecutive aces in her opening service game and quickly raced to a commanding 4-1 lead. Her power looked overwhelming, and the rankings seemed to reflect reality. But little by little, the momentum shifted. Eala stayed composed, broke serve, held confidently, and broke once more before completing a remarkable comeback to steal the set 7-5. Less than a month after suffering an early exit at Roland Garros, she had taken the opening set from the world's second-ranked player on grass in her Berlin debut. That turnaround alone spoke volumes about how quickly her game had evolved. Winning the first set, however, was only half the challenge. Holding that advantage against a player of Rybakina's caliber required another level of composure. Elite tennis is often decided not by spectacular winners, but by the tiny decisions players make when the pressure reaches its highest point. Every serve, every return, every choice carries greater weight. Those are the moments where so many famous upsets quietly disappear before reaching the finish line. Eala still had to prove she could finish what she had started. That defining moment arrived with the score at 5-4 in the second set, as Eala served for the biggest victory of her career, facing a tense 15-30 scoreline. She stood just a couple of points away from being pulled back into the match against one of the most dangerous servers in women's tennis. Instead of tightening under pressure, she delivered one of the biggest serves of the afternoon, firing her 4th ace of the match. Moments later, it was over. After 1 hour and 32 unforgettable minutes, Eala had completed one of the biggest upsets of the grass court season. While the WTA noted that Rybakina finished with more than 23 unforced errors, the statistic that truly mattered was Eala's ability to execute when everything depended on a single service game. Then came the moment that transformed a remarkable tennis victory into a memory shared across the Philippines. After match point, Eala calmly walked to her bag and picked up the phone that had remained untouched throughout the entire match. During her on-court interview, with the stadium microphone still live, she made a FaceTime call to her father, Mike, while her mother, Riza, joined the conversation as well. It was a simple family moment, completely genuine and unplanned, but it instantly resonated with fans. Long after the final score was recorded, that quiet phone call became one of the lasting images of an extraordinary afternoon in Berlin. What happened next was surprisingly simple. During her on-court interview, Alexandra Eala described the moment in words that felt genuine rather than rehearsed. Speaking to the WTA shortly after the match, she said, "I called my dad. I said, oh my God." And we were just screaming. My mom was there too. I'm just really happy. There was no carefully prepared speech or dramatic celebration. Instead, there was a 21-year-old player ranked number 35 in the world sharing an unforgettable family moment after the biggest victory of her season. It was ordinary in the best possible way, and perhaps that was exactly what made it so memorable. Eala then revealed something even more powerful than any highlight from the match itself. Still smiling and clearly overwhelmed, she admitted, "I'm a little foggy right now. I'm still shaking. I was shaking on match point too." Those words explained everything. Courage was never about playing without fear. It was about continuing to perform despite feeling it. She was nervous while serving out the match, nervous when she walked to the net to shake Elena Rybakina's hand, and still nervous while hearing her parents celebrate through the phone. That honesty made the victory feel even more remarkable because it showed that composure is not the absence of pressure, it's the ability to keep moving through it. Any suggestion that the Berlin victory was simply a lucky afternoon disappeared less than 24 hours later. Eala returned to the same court for a quarterfinal against former world number 3 Elena Svitolina, the tournament's 6th seed, and one of the most experienced grass court players on the WTA Tour. Once again, she delivered a confident performance, winning 6-3, 6-4 in straight sets. With that result, she recorded her 6th career victory over a top 10 opponent, and every one of those wins had come without needing a deciding set. One upset can always be explained away, but back-to-back straight-set victories over elite opponents at a tournament debut tell a much different story. They point to consistency rather than coincidence. The numbers supported that conclusion. In its official match recap, the WTA noted that Eala's victory over Rybakina marked her 5th career win against a top 10 player, with 4 of those victories coming against top 5 opponents, and every one achieved in straight sets. Statistics carry no emotion and no bias. They simply record what happened on the court. When Eala defeated Svitolina the following day, that total increased to 6 top 10 victories. By then, the results were becoming impossible to dismiss as isolated moments. They reflected a player proving she belonged on the biggest stages in women's tennis. When asked what had made the difference in her performances, Eala chose a word that perfectly summarized her mindset. She did not describe herself as gifted or unstoppable. Instead, she said the quality she valued most was being brave. That answer revealed far more than any statistic ever could. She understood that the greatest challenge wasn't only the opponent standing across the net, but also the pressure building inside herself. Every point required a decision to trust her game, despite the nerves, and that choice became the foundation of one of the most impressive weeks of her young career. By the end of Berlin, the conversation was no longer about whether Miami had been an exception. It had become clear that Alexandra Eala was building a pattern of delivering her best tennis when the biggest opportunities appeared. By June 19th, following her victories over Elena Rybakina and Elena Svitolina, the live rankings tracked by tennis analysts showed Alexandra Eala climbing into a position that could have significant implications for Wimbledon seeding. While those projections were still unofficial until the tournament's ranking cutoff, the trend was unmistakable. Her strong run placed her ahead of several established names in the projected order and highlighted just how quickly her season was changing. Even more impressive was her grass court record, which had improved to 8 wins and just 1 defeat in 2026. Within only 3 weeks, she had defeated Donna Vekic, Elena Rybakina, and Elena Svitolina on a surface that has traditionally been one of the toughest for Asian players to master. As this story reached its next chapter, Eala was preparing for another major challenge, a Berlin semifinal against Linda Noskova on June 20th. It was a meaningful matchup because Noskova had defeated her earlier in the season, making this an opportunity for redemption. No one could predict what the result would be, and this story never depended on forecasting the future. Whether Eala advanced or fell short, the remarkable journey that led to her breakthrough had already been completed. The unforgettable phone call after defeating Rybakina was never the finish line. It was simply the beginning of a much larger story that was still unfolding. Truly appreciate what happened in Berlin. It is worth returning one final time to Paris. On May 26th, after a first-round loss to Iva Jovic at Roland Garros, there were no memorable quotes, no emotional interviews, and no public explanation of what she was feeling. There was only the disappointment of defeat and the decisions that followed. Instead of waiting for a better opportunity, Eala entered a WTA 125 event in Birmingham. Instead of searching for an easier route, she accepted a wild card into one of the toughest grass court tournaments of the season. Instead of hoping for a favorable draw, she embraced every challenge placed in front of her. Just 23 days separated that difficult afternoon in Paris from her victory over the world's #2 player. Her response to disappointment was never expressed through words, it was demonstrated through action. That is why Berlin answered a question that had quietly surrounded her throughout the season. The tournament was never only about individual victories. It was about proving she belonged among the elite. As this script reaches its conclusion, Eala is sitting in a place she had never experienced before, a Berlin semifinal locker room earned through one outstanding performance after another. More importantly, she has entered another room entirely, the company of players who have defeated the world #2 on multiple occasions, players who have collected 6 career victories over top 10 opponents, all in straight sets, and players whose performances become headline stories across international sports media. That is a very exclusive group, and Eala has earned her place within it. Somewhere before the next match, that same phone will once again be resting quietly inside a tennis bag, waiting without making a sound, just as it did before everything changed in Berlin. For 1 hour and 32 minutes, it meant nothing. Then, in a matter of seconds, it became part of a memory shared by millions. 25 days separated a painful defeat in Paris from one of the biggest victories of her career. If one word defines that journey, it is the same word Alexandra Eala chose herself: brave.